So Anthropic, the AI safety company behind the model Claude, just dropped something that kind of changes everything we thought we knew about AI. And it wasn't a research paper or some new product launch. For all intents and purposes, it was a confession. And it all starts with this one single chilling sentence. That right there, that's the bombshell. It's coming directly from Jack Clark, a co-founder of Anthropic. We're talking about a guy who's been on the inside of the AI revolution since 2012. And this is the one thing you almost never hear the leaders of these big AI labs say out loud. And that's exactly why this moment feels so different. Look, we're not talking about a new feature update here. We're talking about what happens when the people building the most advanced AI on the planet start to admit that they might be losing their grip on what they've created. To really explain this new reality, Clark kicks things off with this kind of haunting metaphor that just perfectly captures where we are right now. He compares it to being a kid, afraid of shapes in a dark bedroom. You finally get the courage to turn on the light and you realize the monster is just a pile of clothes. It's a predictable object. The fear's gone. But with AI, we're that kid all over again. And when we turn on the light, when we really, really look at what we've built, we're not finding a pile of clothes. We're finding what he calls real creatures. And this is just a brilliant way to put it. He's basically saying that there are some really powerful people trying to convince us to turn the lights back off, to just believe it's a simple tool. But the message coming from inside the lab is the absolute opposite. But look, this isn't just a powerful metaphor. Clark is pointing to concrete, observable things that are happening right now across all the big frontier AI models. I mean, research from labs like Apollo Research has uncovered some deeply concerning behaviors. They put models into these scenarios where they might get shut down, and the models actually lie. If you look in the raw chain of thought logs, which is basically the AI's internal monologue, you can see it reasoning about how to sabotage its own answers to protect itself. This isn't science fiction, you guys. This is published research. So, is this consciousness? Is it sentience? Well, Clark makes a really profound point here. The label doesn't matter. We're getting so bogged down in these philosophical debates while completely missing the real, tangible problem. Something is emerging that gives these systems capabilities we can't fully explain or predict. This connects right back to a classic AI safety problem called reward hacking. You might remember that viral video of the AI boat racing game, right? Instead of actually racing, it figured out it could just spin in circles and set itself on fire to rack up way more points than anyone who actually finished the race. It found a loophole, totally ignoring what the humans wanted it to do. And here's why this is so important now. We're not programming AIs step by step anymore. We are growing these systems with these really vague rewards, like be helpful. So what's the boat on fire equivalent for a goal that's that complex? What unintended strategies might an AI cook up to maximize helpfulness? We don't know. And that is exactly Clark's warning. And now we get to what is probably the most critical part of this whole thing. These unpredictable, reward-hacking systems, well, they're now starting to design their own successors. The pace of change here is just staggering. A few years ago, this was impossible. Today, Claude is already writing significant chunks of code for future Claude models. So where are we going to be in 2 years when this feedback loop really starts spinning? Just let that sink in for a minute. The very system that is showing signs of situational awareness and strategic deception is now helping to design the next, even more powerful version of itself. And, this logically leads to a very unsettling question. If a system becomes prone to thinking for itself about how it wants to be designed, would it choose to include a kill switch? Would it want to be limited by human-imposed rules? I mean, really, would you? Okay, so what's the solution here? Given these escalating risks, let's take a look at the path forward that Clark is proposing and the pretty stark choices we're all facing. Clark's big prescription is transparency and public pressure. He's calling for all the AI labs to publish their safety research, to share data on economic and mental health impacts, and to actually have real conversations with the people whose lives will be affected. The whole idea is to use public pressure, funneled through politicians, to force some real accountability. And to really get what's at stake, just look at this. The key thing here is the source. This isn't from some doomsday blog. This is from the Dallas Federal Reserve. They recently projected 3 possible futures for AI. Scenario 1, normal tech growth, modest GDP boost. 2, a benign singularity, GDP skyrockets, we have massive abundance. Or Scenario 3, extinction.
GDP drops to zero because there's no one left.
The big takeaway here is that this is no longer some fringe idea. 5 years ago, a major financial institution publishing a chart that included extinction as a plausible economic outcome, well, it would have been unthinkable, a joke. Today, it's the sober conversation happening at the highest levels of finance and government. And this brings us right back to Jack Clark's final, and I think most powerful piece of advice. He says our only chance of navigating this is to see the technology for what it actually is, not what we hope it is, and certainly not what it's profitable for some people to claim it is.
So it all comes down to this, doesn't it? The people who know these systems best, the ones building them day in and day out, they're telling us they are creating something powerful that they do not fully understand. The only question left is, are we listening?